no problem. Okay, so I actually look for work like everywhere I can see work, which is including on sites on the internet, like LinkedIn, Indeed, but also I look for work also, just anywhere I see that where my qualification suits or where I qualify to work. So it's not really limited to one place. It's just everywhere possibly that, suits what I can contribute to them.
Omar, you can go ahead.
Oh, I was next. Oh, all right, cool. For me, similar to the person that just spoke, I look on LinkedIn. I haven't checked Indeed because I'm not sure if Indeed allows for Jamaicans to look on that site. But Caribbean jobs, LinkedIn. We work remotely. And Google Jobs at times, and company websites. You know, the usual companies that have up a careers page. Let's check those also.
All right. Did anyone else want to speak? So I heard some good suggestions so far. LinkedIn, Caribbean jobs, company websites, and these are all correct answers. So let me tell you, I'm gonna give you an overview of the debate or the discussion format as to how we're gonna go. First thing I'm gonna go through is the conventional places where you look for work, and then after that we're gonna go over some, I'd say, more interesting unconventional places. Right. So the first step, and which one I think is whenever I hear job hunting or best place to look for work, I think LinkedIn always comes to mind first for me because it's number one social media employment place you can check, right? It's a place where, all right, it's a place where you can get jobs and where you can make connections with persons who are also offering those jobs. So one of the things I noticed that a lot of Jamaicans, like, we don't have a very strong LinkedIn presence. A person might set up their profile and that's it, right? They don't make posts about, let's say, content related to work or no subject areas of interest. Let's say I want to be a software developer, so I would make some posts around, okay, here are 5 things I've learned in my career as a software developer, right? Here are things that you can avoid. Here are good, bad examples, things like that. So what a lot of persons don't know is just having the LinkedIn profile alone isn't enough, and it's good to have something extra that can catch people eye, right? If you can catch a person's eye, they might DM you and even offer you the job yourself. So, sorry, hold on. So I wanted to ask the members here, like, do you think you have your LinkedIn set up properly and why?
Well, well, for me, I have my LinkedIn profile set up like in terms of properly as well in the sense that I have all of the information regarding myself and what I'm very interested in and very passionate about, and my specialized focus as well. But you've brought up a good point where you mentioned that it's essential for you to make posts, and communicate and reveal more information about what it is that you are doing and what you're passionate about, which will drive, I think, traction for your services and allow persons to DM you. I never thought about that from that angle, but I do have my LinkedIn profile set up, and I think maybe for most persons, I think they would have their LinkedIn profile set up attractive enough in uh, attracting jobs to them, but not on that level or scale. But let me hear what others have to say regarding all of that.
Regarding LinkedIn, I have mine set up the most it could be. I have everything filled out. I even went a step further and have my LinkedIn in two languages, so it's in English and Spanish. Add on to what I believe it was Jason and Dominic was saying, I did make posts at one point. I did make posts about what I want to do in my career and stuff like that to kind of push traffic towards my profile. Because when you do that and people share it, more people see your account and can look at it. I can say that by doing most of that, I have got two to three offers from LinkedIn because of that. One alone did turn into a job. The others I couldn't take because they weren't what I wanted. But yes, it does help when you fix up your LinkedIn and make posts.
I'll chip in here. I also have my LinkedIn set up. I do make posts. Some personally, some I have bots and AI stuff. Making posts for me. One of the things though, which I tend to say is that LinkedIn as well as like other social media should be like a marketing avenue for you to pretty much attract like future employers or so forth. So not only I post about things that I am interested in or learning about, I also post about projects that I have completed, done, and like do like a post about like a case study of after I completed this project, I noticed that this I could have done better, and so forth. So it gives like a more insightful lesson learned type of posting that other people may be interested in, and of course other companies as well as companies. On top of that, typically post about your certificates, achievements, or so forth. That will garner certain attention because there are companies that are looking for people who have particular certificate, skill set, or so forth. So it's a matter of what you've been building, whether it's through like skill set, certification, or general interest. I tend to just push that out on social media and social media build that portfolio of people interested in a particular topic to, see what I'm posting about and come to me. And I've constantly gotten offers locally and overseas for like, hey, I see you post a lot about Docker. Are you available to do some, Docker implementation for us and so forth? So yeah, for me, I use LinkedIn as well as other social media to generate opportunities for me. Just kind of wanted to show that out there.
Good day, everyone. So, one of the things that I've been doing on LinkedIn recently is I'm writing a bunch of articles. So, if I'm working on a project, I would write an article about it, about the frameworks I use and stuff, just to get like my mindset out there and how I plan certain projects. So, that's actually a good idea as well.
I'm sorry, come on. What was the last thing you said? I didn't catch that.
Yeah, so I'm just saying writing articles is also a good idea. That's what I've been doing for the last few months.
Okay, so there was a point I heard earlier. I think it was the Jamaican developers community that said it, right? Link.
Australian, yes.
Yes,
Oceania
Australia.
Anonymous.
I tried to remove it and it won't. I never mind. I found it. Okay.
Yeah, so Shane made a good point, right? LinkedIn also opens you up to not just local but also jobs overseas. I remember it was a few months back. right? This financial guy on Twitter, his name is Simon. He was asking persons like submit like how much they work, where they work, how they got the job, right? Some of the posts were from people in around the age of 25, right? They work around $1 million for the month, but they actually get paid in USD, right? And the work that they're doing and how they got their job. Many of them said that in college they were applying to places remotely through LinkedIn, and they got through and they just moved up from there, right? So it's really an open field for you, and the opportunities are essentially endless. Cause I'm sure back when that post went out from Simon, a lot of persons were shocked about how much these individuals were making. All right, just so I'm gonna speed through things so we're not on this call too long. Caribbean jobs. One of the things you realize really Caribbean jobs is that companies can anonymously post job listings, right? Let's say a certain local bank, a big one, would post that they need a software developer for some special project, but you wouldn't see the bank's name. You just see company slash something else there, and they'll tell you that you're gonna be working on some finance project. And you can send in applications to them. So one of the advantages with Caribbean jobs, aside from the alerts, you can also see the alerts on LinkedIn, but aside from the alerts, there are some unlisted jobs that will pop up there from local entities. Don't know you actually pay attention to the alerts you get from Caribbean jobs for those of you who do get them or who set them up?
Not me, not me.
Yeah, I do.
And this job is along the lines of the thing you're interested in.
Not all the times. Sometimes.
It's usually a mixed bag for me. Sometimes they post things directly that I'm interested in. Other times it's just, way out there. All right. This next thing is new, and I'm willing to bet I'm the only person on this call who ever signed up for Icon Work. Have any of you ever heard of it before or signed up for it?
I am aware of it. I signed up for it, but um, to scope out what they're doing.
I've heard of it, and I know that a larger company acquired them. I don't remember which company that acquired them, but yeah, I haven't signed up for it.
All right, I'm gonna assume no one else has heard of it. So yeah, basically it was this local company that was trying to be the LinkedIn for Jamaica, social media where you also look jobs. It's, uh, it's, I think it has good potential. It's probably the best way the word how I feel about it. The next one is pretty low tech. The Gleaner ads, right? The Gleaner has a ton of jobs in there, especially nowadays. You can find all manner ads in the Gleaner. So you might have to go out and buy one, or there is this guy on LinkedIn. He tends to post Gleaner ads. I'll send the link to his LinkedIn profile in the chat later. So if you don't want to go and buy Gleaner ads yourself, you can definitely, just follow him on LinkedIn. Next one is a job fair. I last saw a notification for a job fair maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. You go there, you give you information, and you just see whether or not you get through after a while. 'Cause some people don't know this, but you might apply for a job today, and then 3, 6, or 9 months later, they actually get back to you and call you. So even if you're not looking or interested in the job now, and you'll be interested 9 months from now, it's best to apply 9 months from now. I mean, best to apply now, so you get the notification 9 months from now. All right, next up,
Um,
Google.
Before you move on, one of the things that I kind of want to point out with that is that there are cases where companies like you apply for a job today and maybe you got rejected or they didn't call you this time around. What most companies tend to do is put you on like a job seeker roster or so forth. So the next time they're applying for seeking a new employee or contractor or so forth, they look at their old applicants and end up, just reaching out to the best next set of applicants. So if, for example, you see a job saying that, oh, they need someone now, but in essence they end up hiring you or someone like 9 months later, most likely what happened is pretty much it's another round of hiring they're doing. So it's always kind of good to still apply for a job, because even though you may not get through with this round of hiring, you may end up getting through the next round of hiring when they look back at the previous applicants.
Yeah, good, good advice. Well, yeah, thanks for the knowledge, Oshin. That actually had me thinking of something. Like, for those of you're saying something?
Yeah, I was saying for the job fairs, don't they usually have an entry fee attached to the job fairs?
No, not all of them. Yeah. So, yeah, the question I wanted to ask, those of you on the call is, for those of you who have gotten jobs before, which platform would you say had the highest success rate? Like, which platform have you gotten the most jobs from?
All right, for me, I would say personal network. Apart from that, LinkedIn.
My answer would be the same as Shane's. Well, if you call WhatsApp, the WhatsApp group, Facebook developers, I think that's the name. That's where I got one job, and the next one was LinkedIn.
Facebook developers. You mean that group with the Aki developers in them?
Yes, that
Aki
one. Sorry, I got the
circles.
name changed. Yeah, Aki Circle. That's the name now.
Yeah, that counts. Anybody else?
Somebody repeat that name.
Aki circles. It's a WhatsApp group which the community kind of extend to. So yeah.
Could you spell it? Akison. That's
Well, Aki as the food that we eat, and circles like that the shape
oh,
circle.
okay. Aki Circles. Okay, thank you again.
All right, I'm gonna continue. How many persons in here knew that you could set a job alert on Google?
I
Um,
knew that.
it's same, but the thing with Google Job Alert, it may not be very relevant to our local space, meaning it does give relevant jobs, but at the same time, if it's really tailored to what you're looking for, that's where the relevance come in that I'm talking about. So I've seen where it send me like good jobs, but it's not within like a vicinity that I'm looking to work, or it's kind of a bit odd at the same time.
You haven't updated the criteria, like to say you only want remote jobs or stuff like that.
It doesn't offer like that type of granularity based on my recollection, but who knows? I could be wrong.
All right, anybody else? Okay. Next up, we have the UCA Jobs Telegram group. I think that group is the place where I see the highest amount of job postings, right? Instead of, let's say, me scoring LinkedIn and Caribbean Jobs and Instagram and Facebook, you have this one place that has over 1,000 members, and you can just join there and you'll see the jobs being posted. Now and then, you have a couple people who kick off, discussions like they ask, what's the benefits for that company, right? But it's mainly for job postings, right? So if any of you here aren't in that group yet, you can definitely join. After LinkedIn jobs group, we have why did I put this on this? Links. So has anyone in here ever gotten a job because of a link?
Meaning someone we know? Yes.
Yeah.
Somebody you know.
Could we use the term recommendation though than links?
Yeah, man. Oh, we were using the Jamaican term for recommendation, but we can use the English term as well, whichever.
Yeah, definitely. I really think, personally speaking, that Jamaica is a really small place, actually really small. And I think that most of the persons that actually get through with some really good jobs are people that know people and people that have networked with people. I think that's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, ways of how to get a really solid job. So definitely. And I've been a person that got through the job through link. Like somebody just reached out to somebody and they knew me, and the person just reached out to me and I was literally hired the same day. Literally. So like that just goes to show how links really play an important role.
Testing. Is this mic working?
Yeah, go ahead, Jason.
Alright, I've been talking for the longest while, but it looks like you weren't hearing me. And to answer the question, yes. And it comes down to your personal network. Your network is your net worth. If you're able to leverage your personal network in order to get opportunities, that's something that you absolutely should be doing. And if you're going out and actually meeting with people, interacting, that's something that will also come your way. But you have to put yourself in the position for it to happen.
One of the things that we're not covering is the fact that the person who is recommending you would have seen that you do have a particular skill or talent for this particular area. So they may say, this job is a good job for this person based on their skill set and so on. So if it is that we look at how it is that we create our portfolios, what it is that we create, what it is that we do, if it is that we're doing a really good job, persons will essentially know us for that particular role or for that particular product or for that particular service. And even within like an interview context, for some persons who make it to interviews, there are times when the interviewer already has an idea of who this person is, because this person has been recommended by X or Y, and so they know that this skill set may be an asset to their organization. So it eases the interview process. So there's some amount of skills that is required, long and short of what I'm saying. It's not just, links.
And to build on that what Jason mentioned was strictly links. So I don't think there would be a need for, let's say, a portfolio or the interview process. Now, before coming to this meeting, I actually talked to a good number of persons. And something that came up was that you want to, let's say, get a job through links. The issue is that many persons don't have links. And they don't have links because their personal network hasn't been developed in such a way that will enable them to take advantage of something. So as a developer, something that you should be doing is marketing yourself, networking yourself, and getting out there. You can't get a job through quote-unquote links if you don't have any links.
Yeah, going off of that, in my case, a while back, yeah, my first job was through a link from school. Because the thing is, people in school, not only my classmates, but essentially everyone, at least in my year, and maybe the surrounding years, they knew that I was like the go-to computer person. So when I was out of school, it was like one day a friend who I hadn't heard from for quite a while hit me up and said, "Hey, you know X and Y," and it's like, "Are you around for this?" And I'm like, "I don't have much experience, but yeah, I'm ready to do this," and that's how I got my first job. No interview or anything. I was just in there and learning a new stack and everything right off the cuff. So yeah, that's my experience.
Do you just say no interview?
What's that?
You just said no interview, right? You just get the job and you start.
Yeah, essentially, yeah, because it was like the friend knew the other person, and it's like the friend was actually the one who was offered the job, but they didn't really know coding that much, but they knew that I knew it. So they just hit me up and they say, "Hey," and that's how the introduction was made. I know someone who knows coding over there, and I don't really know this, so I'm just gonna contact them and bring them in.
It happens. I have similar experience with that as well as I probably should say this. Uh, some of my friends, after a while being in the tech industry, some of my friends knew that, oh, I have a particular name in certain areas, so they end up using my name to get a job. Like they'll go to a job interview. Oh, you guys know O'Shane, and talk to them, and they're like, oh, you and Austin, we good friends, and it seems like you have this similar skill set as him. Yeah, you're hired. Not that you guys probably should, not that you guys should do that, but I'm saying at the same time, you can get jobs just by association at times.
It's just some good information. I'm taking notes because I heard one man say he had no interview, and I heard the next one say you can use certain person's name to get through the door, and I'm blown away by. So, links. Although in Jamaica we like to make everything sound bad, links aren't necessarily a bad thing, right? You know, when you know people and they know your skills, it can, let's just say fast track or open a lot of doors here. Right? So I always recommend network, get to know people, go to whatever physical events you can, and really talk to people, right? So links I'd really put high up there on the one of the best places. Well, not really a place, but one of the best things you can use to hunt for work.
Makes sense. I agree with you. I believe really that, Jamaica is a really small place, like overall. So like most persons literally there is a small section or a small number of persons that are in high jobs and holding high jobs, and they know a specific person that can do this, and that's the person that they're going to reach out to. I always say it in my head literally, like most of the persons that go to university, most of the persons that are out there won't get a job unless they build their network. Literally.
Right.
Blame your fault. They don't really spend time developing their network.
The thing with that, though, I think, is that you kind of need to people need to know where they can go and build network, how they can build network. Because building a network isn't something that's taught in school. They teach you how to, maybe they teach you how to do an interview and write resume and stuff like that.
as well as the relevant topics to actually get started. But building a network, knowing where to go, events and so on, and in general, just even knowing events, those things you have to kind of just find out on your own. Those things are not taught.
That's a
As a
building
pointer,
network.
so
Oh,
yeah,
Hold on. Alden spoke first.
yeah, man. So I would counter though, because to tell the truth, the university does try to help you create linkages, because like an internship program, they do place you sometimes at some government locations where you'd be working with some top persons that can potentially open the door for you. So I wouldn't say that the university doesn't try to encourage you to form links and network, but it's just that sometimes we, as the persons in that situation, don't recognize that this is an opportunity to show that we belong in this location when the university try to put you on an internship, or when the university try to promote mentorship program. At least twice, I'm 100% sure that at least twice the universities have put out mentorship programs for persons to be joined with mentors in various fields and various areas that is aligned with what the student is studying. But I not to go too much in detail, but there was a time when I was paired with someone who was at the regional office, and when it was just like mind blowing that this was, that I'm working with such a person, and I was saying to myself, why isn't it that the entire cohort my year was not on this mentorship program? So there, it is taught in school, but not in the same breadth as how we see it, as a link or as a network opportunity. But the university essentially allows you to work outside of your faculty to get extra credits. As a matter of fact, your courses that are inside your faculty, the recommended courses, chances are you won't have enough credits to graduate. So they even say, hey, get some courses get some credits from outside of your course, outside of your studying. So they are facilitating the networking, the linking, the building of a community, but sometimes we don't see it, because generally speaking, we are, IT professionals that love to sit around a computer. So it may not necessarily like generally that physical interaction sometimes, or we may not necessarily be like that people to person kind of people, So we need to see these opportunities for networking and seize them, because they are there.
Yes, and that's
Yes.
the thing there, to actually see it. So that, I'd say that's probably where things are falling off, because people don't see this. So they really need to be told that yes, this is something that you need to go out for, because this is an opportunity to get you to know other people and what's going on in the space and all of that. Many persons just really don't think about that. That's the part of the issue there.
As true as that is, Andrew, at the end of the day, like the universities can do like everything, and there's
True,
like
true.
computer society clubs at the different universities that keep, it's very active. How much people go to those computer society club on a regular basis to find out, oh, what's going on, is there opportunities for student developers and so forth. When I was at UA, the society, computing society, the number of people in it was pretty low. Yet,
Yeah.
funnily, one of my first jobs I got was through the computing society. but a lot of other people were working, like whether at call center or so forth, and not in the field. So another thing to consider is the university may provide these stuff, but if you're not taking the opportunity or putting yourself in the area to identify these opportunities, then the opportunity will pass by. And before I stop, I'll just add a, plug for the community here to say that's also something we could do as a community to, contribute to these different universities to promote job opportunities. And of course, any of you, I believe most of you probably sign up like a form when you entered the Telegram chat. So one of the things we're aiming to do is utilizing that data we collected to know one who has certain skill set. So whenever there's a job that comes in that fits whichever skill set, we can just reach out to a talent pool from the community to say, hey, there's a job like this that fits your skill set, and we can, link up and see how best that opportunity, fits what you're looking for. So that's a part of what we can do as a community, not just for community members, but also for student developers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if I can branch off of what Shane said.
Hold on. All right, let me see if I remember the order. So, Jason, you can go ahead, and then Patrick, because I think we did skip Jason earlier.
Yeah, and just to build on what Shane was saying, I think that after a while you also have to have some personal accountability. Because I remember it was last year, I took a trip to Kingston to go to a seminar, technical seminar that one of my friends was holding. And it was around the same time as UE Carnival. And I reached out to quite a few persons at UE at the time. And they said that they're not coming because they're going to Carnival, they want to party. So you have these things that are here, but persons might not see the value of it. Because you want to party, why are you going to go to a seminar when you have Carnival going on? So personal accountability is something that should be taken into consideration as well. Some persons just not making the right choices. Or what I think would be the right choice.
Yeah, I completely agree. If there are any university students here, I would say also, what Shane said is completely true. Like when I was in computing society, around 10% of the entire computing cohort was there, and they only showed up for career day, and that was it. Meanwhile, an entire networking campaign would have been happening throughout the year. Also, a big thing is to speak to your lecturers and have a personal relationship with your lecturers. I mean, they might not know the latest technologies, but some of them are literally juggernauts in the tech space. They're ancient mentors that the young people that are running the tech space refer to. Like, if anybody that go to UE, Dr. Mansing literally sits on the board of eGov. You understand? Dr. Kaur is literally famous in the States. They use software that he built in surgeries. You need to speak up to your lecturers. I remember when I did project management, and I can't believe I forgot his name. He literally introduced me to a community.
Ferguson.
No, bald guy, bald brown. He's the one who started pick up project management.
Gainer.
Yes, Gainer, yes. He introduced me to a society of senior project managers and got me my first certification. And that's like, there's so many opportunities in university. And as Jason said, they rather waste off them summer going somewhere, right? They rather do all manner of things and don't develop a personal relationship with the lecturers and all of these things. I believe the opportunities are there. I remember the way I got into this society when I was like 16, right? Develop a relationship with my computer science teacher, and he told me about Coders of the Caribbean. I don't know if that thing's still running. And that's how I got added to the group years ago. So, I mean, if you love the craft will come to you. I'm just saying that.
True. True. Uh,
May
and, oh,
jump
Alvin.
in? Yeah, man. So for those persons who may not be aware, one of the things that the Jamaican developers community is doing is a mentorship program. We would have been doing mentorship, generally speaking, as persons come in and interact and so on. But then we said let's do it in an official way where we announced it and so on. And we did have we've had people being paired with really phenomenal mentors that can open opportunities, can show where there's areas for growth. So there are crash courses that we've done that we would have brought in specialists in various areas, whether it is in project management. Some of these are actually business entrepreneurs. Some of them they've been travelers all over the world, so they do have contacts. But how it is that you interact with the group will essentially, you either benefit from it or it will pass you by. So the reality is there are groups, there are organizations that are there to foster growth. We are doing a physical trip soon, and the deadline is not yet closed for those persons who are interested to just have a little networking and of course fun, because we won't necessarily be talking so much about tech. But the reality is, if I'm a project manager, at some point you're going to find out that I'm a project manager. You're going to talk to me about project management or some. If there's a UI UX at some point, so because it's part of who we are, even though it's going to be a more fun. The reality is we are tech people, and we're not going to not talk about tech any at all. So, opportunities are there.
All right, so I have a question, and this is coming from kind of partially my experience as well as what going from what I've been hearing here. So the primary thing that I hear is you get your links through university. For me personally, yes, that was a possibility, but not out here because I didn't go to a university out here, so that opportunity sort of bypassed me. And just in general, for persons who did not attend university, some people just left high school and then just do their thing on their own. So how would persons like those really get their leg into building those relationships when essentially they don't have that startup from like high school or wherever?
I mean, I think it goes without saying that one, community and just attend, you meet people, greet people, find out what they do, and of course you find out what you do, and they're like, oh, Python, oh, we have a Python project and we're looking for someone in Python. It's all about just, I guess, initially put yourself out there and network. It doesn't necessarily start from school, because yes, some links is through school, but after that it's pretty much how you carry yourself, your attitude towards work, attitude when you meet people, and just whether you say or what you do, because a part of what you do is just letting people know about yourself and what you're good in, and that will generate that success. For example, you and I met through work with David, and as you know, from that work, we end up into working together at a different company. So again, sometimes it's just attitude towards work and knowing that someone is good at something and that follow through to lead into a different position.
Okay.
Hopefully that answers the question.
Right. And actually, just remember, we did have a company from one of the other Caribbean islands interact with us where they had some job postings and they were looking for persons to work with them remotely. So, you know, if it is that you miss the boat, let's say you miss the boat at a university or wherever, and you keep missing the boat, at some point you have to recognize that hey, you are missing the boat. You have to be accountable and you know, position yourself to get on the boat when it's coming again.
These are all good points, right? Something Andrew said, hold on, Omar. Something Andrew said reminded me of something a lecturer once said to me. There's a misunderstanding regarding university. She said that you don't come to university for a degree, you come in order to network with people. You can go
And
ahead.
I was just gonna build on that. Oh, you continue?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna build on that because a lecturer once told me that there are 5 key purposes of university and school in general: education and knowledge dissemination, research and innovation, professional preparation, networking, and personal development. So networking is a key purpose of university and school in general.
Well said, Jason. Romar, did you have something you want to say?
Yeah, regarding the links, it sounds like most of you guys went to UE, or you're speaking from a UE perspective.
Well,
Well,
I went to UE. I don't have any UTech persons here, but I went to UE.
Yeah, I went to UTech. That's why I'm asking, because how you guys are describing it, it sounds like UE has a kind of a network set up for you to make links and know what you're doing and go forward into computer science or tech.
I would say it's like a network. It's like it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for those who seek it. It's not just laid out in front of you. From my perspective.
Yeah, I second what Patrick said, but Romario, I can say this to you. When you come on to tech opportunity and networking, I believe UTech has a way better setup and functionality than UE. The reason why I say
Agreed.
this is because one, UTech as an IEEE society, and that go all over the world, participate in different robotics and tech competition. They have a separate computing society club from the IEEE that does some stuff around the island and in the Caribbean. On top of that, they have a robotics club separate from IEEE and the computing society. And so on top of that, they have the Tech Innovation Center, which a lot of companies and other tech companies go to do presentation at. For example, Joel Dean, one of his first presentation for Google developers group was done at UTech, and a lot of people came to that session, and other tech community did the sessions at UTech, including the Docker community that I ran back then. So I believe UTech has facilitate a lot more tech-based events and networking opportunity and outreach than UE. UE does promote it, but UE mostly cater for their business and med-sci students, in my opinion, than their computing. I mean, we all know that, who went to UE, computing society, the computing department is catching on HS department, so we don't really have a building for ourselves, unlike UTech who has a big building. So yeah, UTech facilitate tech networking and building outreach program more than you it, to me at least.
Yeah, agreed. Definitely agreed. And when I first came to UA, I was literally heartbroken to see the influence and how they treated the computing department. It really just politically, I was speaking to Dr. Core about it, politically, financially, locationally, is literally a pitch patch at the end, right? And the one thing I do realize from being in the computing department for years is that the networking is really dependent on who's in the executive body of like the computing society, right? If that person is a strong tech person, then the networking kind of flourish a bit more. That the next president is kind of reservist and don't have much links, it kind of go down for that year. You understand? A big thing that really helped me is that I kept in contact with my friends from high school that went to UTech. You understand? So I was able to, one, gauge myself technically against UTech students, and being able, especially when hackathons come, I was able to get into those hackathons, because as far as networking, is really alarming to see how many hackathons fly over US students' heads because they're not plugged into that network like UTech, right? A lot of hackathons go on in Jamaica.
I second what Patrick said as well.
So yeah, I agree with you guys regarding UTech does have some facilities for networking. Because when I went to UTech, they had, as I said, IEEE, they had another group, they had another tech group in the school for people to join, and they have the internship and the job fair. So they have those 4 things. But what I wanted to point out is that you can network with people and it still doesn't get you any jobs. So it's kind of luck in some points, because you can say you have a network of 10 people, you all leave university or you reached out to various people, and none of the networking gets you a job. It's not that you didn't network, it's just that none of them got you a job. So you'd have to network more after university.
Yeah, I agree. And a big part of it is, sorry to interrupt you, Shane, but a big part of it is luck, and that's just life in general. Like I remember, and even you have some backstabbing that go on. I never forget this. One of my friends that I thought was my friends, go to a company, work there for a while, got in a good position. I'm like, hey, are there any open rules? Fat blue tick. You understand? So it really is about luck in every facet. And I just said, don't lose heart, because maybe if you are like a good student at university and somebody who never really take the course seriously, just buck up in the right place at the right time, and him get the position, and you don't get the position simply because you weren't there. And I'm sorry, that's just how life is. I've seen it happen. It has happened to me. Luck is 90%. No, I wouldn't say 90, but luck is a good part of it.
Yes, luck is definitely a good part of it, but I also want to point out something important. So what is important is wins is good, luck is great, but of course, knowledge and skill set that's the best out of everything. Because here's the thing: if you have a link, and your friends, know that you're in programming, but for example, they know that, hey, you're a good programmer but not a great programmer, they may or may not want to recommend. But if someone knows that you're probably the best programmer they know, or developer, business analyst, whatever position it may be, they most likely would want to recommend to some extent. Yeah, right. Yeah, most likely would want to recommend. I'm looking back at Patrick's comment about bad mind, so that might play a part in it. But I, for example, would definitely recommend someone who I know that will get the job done than someone I know that, look, they want a job, they want an opportunity, but they might mess up. Because at the end of the day, when you recommend someone, you're not just recommending for their own good, you're also risking your name, and your recommendation. So if you know that if you recommend one person that mess up, then if you recommend that second person, the person who is doing the hire might be iffy of your recommendation based on past experience. So attitude towards work and competence to get the job done is a key role in having links and just getting jobs. Because at the end of the day, getting the job is one part of the process, but keeping the job and getting promoted is the most important part of the whole, getting a job process.
Yeah, and just to speak on luck, they have a book by, I believe it was Stuart Lacey, that said that there's a formula for luck. And the formula can be dumbed down to basically this. Luck is equal to preparation plus opportunity. If you're not prepared and you get an opportunity, you're not going to get lucky. If you're prepared and no opportunity comes around, you're not going to get lucky. So in order for you to get lucky, the key thing is that you must be prepared. And when the opportunity arises, then you can take advantage of it. Because I would say that many opportunities might come your way. But if you're not prepared for the opportunity, you have no luck. You're out of luck.
All of these are some very great points. All right. And by the way, as I go through the other items, you guys can start me and share your experience or say things, right? So I believe the last thing that really set off fire, last thing I said was links. Which, just to wrap up the whole links point, right? I can just straight up tell you life isn't fair. I'll just tell you straight up the blocks, life isn't fair. You have to use whatever advantages you can, persons people you went to high school with, sometimes even family members, right? Having the skills is one part of it. Having the opportunities and the right people can be another part of the equation that kind of gets you there. Right. So next up is social media. Some people use social media for, a little break from life. Some people use social media, and others set up social media to get work. Like I've seen multiple times people advertise jobs on like Twitter and they say, DM me, and they look on the person's profile, and the person's profile is let's just say questionable. So immediately they're gonna skip over that person's profile and probably give the chance opportunity to somebody else who has set up their Twitter properly, right? So I'm not saying that you have to, be strict and disciplined about the whole thing. Cause, some persons, the social media really is just a break for them, but others, they set up their social media in such a great way that the work comes looking for them. Next up, there are people who I think somebody mentioned earlier, they know the websites, they go to the career section of each company website and they look maybe every week or every day or whatever frequency, and they check if that company has jobs. Now then, that was the first section of the discussion. The second section, we're gonna divert a bit. Right? This is the next section. I titled it the unconventional section. Right. So the first steps, conventional methods to get jobs. LinkedIn, the Caribbean jobs, the Glean ads, the usual global stuff. And first up, we have walking the companies physically and giving them a physical resume. So there's this story, right? This guy, according to him, he printed copies of his resume and he walked around New Kingston and he dropped them off the companies, right? And one company finally gave him the job because he was having a hard time finding a job. But because, he came there physically to them, they gave him the work, and since then he's flown all the way up to the top of the corporate ladder. I think he's a senior manager, special or something now. So that walking around to complete physical living resume is something that I know is gonna kind of rub some persons the wrong way because they'd rather sit down behind the computer and just click on one button and send up the resume to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 companies, etc. But if you can find a way to stand out, then you find a way to stand out. Next up, somebody did mention earlier, it's called, but I call it a chance encounter, right? You can increase your surface area of luck, yeah, let's say that, by going to more places, right? So let's say you run into the CEO of a company in some parking lot, right? You're on your way to maybe some networking event and there was a CEO there. You and him were having a talk, right? You didn't know who he was until you go upstairs and then they ask him to present. And that same evening he offers you a job because you two had such a nice chat. So a chance encounter also along the line of luck. Next we have trips. So a trip can be, like a trip to, let me drop that plug. We do have a trip coming up on the 15th to Chaka Cove. So you could meet possible someone you could network with on a trip to somewhere in Jamaica. But let's say Chaka Cove in this instance, and they'd say, I know X company is looking for X person. Maybe I could recommend this individual, right? So there's trips you can use. Next, we have WhatsApp groups. Aki Circle was mentioned because they share jobs in there. And there's also a Dear Dream group where they just post jobs. I think she said her way of giving back to her people, something along that line. And in that group, aside from the jobs, I noticed she had said something that caught my eye once. She said, ensure that you're properly attired and that you don't smell when you go to the people in workplace. I'm guessing somebody came back to her with some complaint, which is why, as I don't remember who said it, but a recommendation, those kind of put your name on the line as well. We have clubs and societies, which was also mentioned already, right? There are powerful people at, let me first say, Toastmasters and Rotaract, which are clubs. You don't have to be in any university, or you usually don't have to be anywhere special to join them. There's also, the clubs in universities and schools that you can join, and those will help you as well. All right. Meetup groups. We, as in the community, we do have, our meetup group. Some persons here, they signed on from Meetup, and that's how, they got access to the group link. And there are also other meetup groups there. I know, I think the WordPress group meetup as well. I'm not sure if Jaya had created a meetup group for them, but you can go there and you can find some. I'm gonna pause. Does anybody have anything they'd like to say?
Go out and meet people. They won't bite you.
What if it does bite you, Jason? What if I go out and meet somebody and it rubs me the wrong way, or I'm uncomfortable? It could go south,
Hey, 1 week you're gonna forget about it.
Co-working spaces, right? So let me run a scenario to you. Co-working spaces, I think, are still, I don't want to say new, really caught on as much as I would have liked in Jamaica, but we do have some. You can go to a co-working space, you meet this group of people across America. They tell you that they're working on the next CrowdStrike, right? And they're gonna build this top of the line security firm, and security will be in the kernel and everything. And you say, hey, you wanna join them and help them create this great company? You join CrowdStrike, or no, they say, hey, you can join the team, and you become a part of the team just like that, because you're at the right place at the right time, and you probably said the right things, so you had things working in your favor. Online forums. All right. Oh, Jason, you want to say something?
No. Speaking about co-working space, I think that is area in Jamaican real estate that's still being developed. I heard that DGM got $100 million funding to create a co-working space in Kingston. But one of the issues that I have with co-working spaces is that many of them, or most of them, are Kingston face. So in St. James, where I'm at, you have few. Or it's gonna go to some cafe. But even when I go to the cafe, most times it's filled up. So that's something that I think needs to be developed down here as well.
Another thing too is that a co-working space is very likely going to be a paid thing, and you have to like make appointments and all of that to even use it. So the way I look at it, a co-working space is for work, not necessarily meeting others per se. But yeah, it's just a more specialized area, especially here where it's not that developed yet. But if we can get to the point where it's like, oh, you just have this space here where people can just come and do their stuff, kind of like a cafe-like atmosphere, then that would be really nice. More along the yes, I can go and actually meet people there thing. But as it is now, yeah, as Jason said, no, it won't really work for networking, in my opinion.
Thought I saw somebody was about to speak a while ago, no?
Oh, you're really low.
No, I was saying I thought I saw somebody was about to speak a while ago.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, as I mentioned, and as Jason mentioned, we're not quite there yet. It's still small industry, but I think it's prime for takeoff. Although, what I'm about to say, this place isn't really a co-working space, but it is a place that people go to work. Starbucks, some persons, they go and buy their meal, they sit down, they enjoy the nice Wi-Fi and the AC. Do they have Starbucks over your side, Jason?
Well, cool.
We have 0.
And speaking about Starbucks is a nice environment to go and work. Most times when I work at Starbucks, I meet international developers. So developers coming from England. I had one from, I believe it was Peru. Last month, I met a Peruvian developer. And they enjoying Jamaica to the fullest. Take a little vacation and come here and working at Starbucks at the same time. They work remotely as well.
I mean, like digital nomads.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I didn't know we had them coming here, but I guess it makes sense. That's nice.
Yeah, they're coming here.
That's always something that I kind of want to do sometime too.
You said something you want to do sometime is visit somebody else's country and work in a Starbucks?
Well, not necessarily at Starbucks since I'm not really a coffee person, but yeah, like travel and work.
And
Go
ahead.
and speak to them. Traveling and working isn't that bad. The biggest issue would be the difference in time zones. But if you're disciplined enough to collaborate or sort that out, you should be good.
And finding reliable internet.
Yeah.
Hey, the internet is a part of the business model, it has to be. All right. We're going to move on to online forums, right? So There's this one forum in particular that I browse on. It's called Jamaica Classifieds Online. They sell everything, like I mean everything you can think of really. So now and then you see people advertise jobs. I was pretty surprised the first time I saw, somebody advertising a job on it, and you could essentially just go there. Usually you DM like the individual, ask for details, and apply for the work. So online forums like that, and many others out there that you can use. Next, this was mentioned: hackathons and competitions. The turnout, the turnout at some of these hackathons is low, right? Especially when you think about the cohort, the high number of persons that are in a certain program or even in nearby vicinity that just don't show up, right? So people are missing out on, hackathons, competitions that could help to make a name for themselves. And, more publicity means somebody might say, hey, I could offer this person a job or, grab them for my company, right? You never know. The other one I find interesting, which is freelance platforms, like Upwork and Fiverr. Let's say you do a good job or you do a great job, and the person says, you know what, I'm gonna take on this individual full time, right? If you're Jamaican, let's say that is a US company, I gotta take you on full time and you'd be earning USD now, which is great. Yeah, just like that. But of course, these are some. I've heard of some cases like that. I know it's not gonna be the same for everybody, but that is an avenue. Next is for the writers here, blogging. You write about, let's say you love AI, right? You're blogging about AI, what's happening in the field, and just things along that line. I think I remember once in the past, I wrote about something, was it crypto related, I think? And somebody actually reached out to me offering a blockchain developer role. So, if you have writing skills, you can definitely try blogging, and somebody might message you, or you can, aside from writing for your own blog, you can also offer to write on some other blog out there or some other platform. I know LinkedIn also has this feature where you can write articles. Well, sometimes having your own little blog on a website, or you can take the Medium route, right? I've seen some Jamaicans, they write on Medium. Medium is seen by people all over the world. So you have exposure. Next up, we have the alumni network, which would kind of fall on the links, but a lot of persons, they aren't actively involved in their schools anymore once they leave. So you could, join an alumni. Let's say you went to JC or, Monroe or, some high school, some fancy high school. You go back, you give back to your school, and somebody says, this young man, or this young woman, let me offer them, a job because I see them here volunteering their time to give back to their school. Cold emailing, I don't think is very popular out here, right? But this is something I found really interesting. So essentially, you would say, I don't know if Grace Kennedy is hiring, but I know the HR manager's email or somebody their email, and I'm gonna message them saying, hey, I have X skill sets. Are there any roles currently open? Do you think that I could apply for, or do you know of any roles that haven't been advertised as yet or aren't being advertised that I can fill? So you send out maybe 5, 10, I don't know, 15, 50 different cold emails and hope that things work out, or they could not work out, but you want to try and increase that their exposure. The last thing on this list is semi-controversial because somebody had mentioned students going off the carnival. Now, I think you can network anywhere, and a party is a place that you can network, right? Some go there and them just enjoy themselves. You can go to the party. You book the CEO for XYZ Bank son, when hit it off well, you and him turn bridging and thing, and he said, hey, my father owns this nice company, or maybe I could put in a good word for you so you get this role, so you can network at Carnival or any party as well. What do you say to that, Jason?
Good luck networking at a party like Carnival. Good luck. I've tried. It doesn't work out well. Like certain parties, yeah, you can network at it. If it's just like a chill vibe going, you might have a drink or two. Everybody is level-minded. You can have a nice conversation. But at somewhere like Carnival, hard wine, any soca party, I would say avoid it, because the environment is not conducive for certain types of conversations and certain types of networking. You might be able to, let's say, make a friend at Carnival, and from that, outside of Carnival, you could even, let's say, develop the friendship more, but it's a different type of vibe. And I'm not sure how if you have the skills to translate that into something that can be productive in your professional life, go for it. But that's something that I could never have done.
Remember what happened that day?
What happened?
Especially when you can't remember what happened that day. You'll be like, what?
Yeah.
Like what?
What's the rest of you? Like what unconventional ways you think you could get jobs, or maybe you don't agree with Jason. Maybe you can get that girl's number, you can get that job at that party at the same time.
Not too sure about that, but one way that I myself got a job is that I put my resume in a system for a post that had nothing to do with my resume, or an internship when I actually wanted a full-time role. I actually applied for an internship and then I got called for an interview for a full-time role, because I was just throwing my resume into any outlet that would have it. Right. I applied for, I think, a truck driver at Grace with my software engineering resume, and I got a role there. It's just to put it, because somebody seen it, and if there's a need, like I said, luck, if there's a need and you just happen to be there, then what happens. But that's a way that I had gotten a job, just throwing my resume into any outlet that would have it, even if they didn't ask for it.
That is legendary. I've never heard that before.
Can I say something?
Sure, go ahead.
All right. Good evening, everybody. And this is my first time joining and meeting everybody. So hello, everyone. And just to contribute, I don't think anybody has talked about open source as a way to jumpstart into maybe getting the job. When I say open source, means that you can build a tool that other people use or contributing to, there are a lot of open source projects out there, right? That you could just become a fan of something and grow into something on open source, and that becomes a way for you to, to get a job. And, there are new roles now that are different from the traditional roles like front end, back end. There are open source engineers now, right? Companies just hire just for them to work on open source tool, or to even build open source tools. So I feel like open source is like a very huge space that is not talked about, right? Very underlooked, right? In how you can build tool that can eventually become something good, or you can also like get the opportunity to meet other people who can also, you can also build your network via open source as well. So whatever project, but the community, the tech space is large. So it could be the Linux space, VS Code as a tool, all these guys that are building extensions, IDs, just thinking about anything that is worth doing, just building it so can become a way for you to, get network and introduce yourself to the world at large.
Hi. Wait. First, well, welcome. What? How do I pronounce your name?
That's gonna be a big one. I might need to do like training. But I mean OJ is fine. Yeah, Oluwasitemi is fine too, but OJ is good.
OJ?
Yeah, Ojo. Yeah, that's good.
OJ. All right. So
Yeah.
you actually raised a really good point, right? So there are some people and they get jobs based on how great their GitHub profile looks. The many projects they've, let's say, created, or the open source projects that they created as well. I know of persons saying that they got job offers due to GitHub, and I remember, I think it was actually Joel Dean saying that some recruiter or someone saw his GitHub portfolio and they also saw that he was contributing to open source projects. They were mobile / Android related, and that's kind of how he got an international job with a company, and things went really well for him afterwards. So thanks for bringing up open source for us. All right. So we do need to kind of wrap things up. I am gonna leave the floor open. If there's anything that was missed, anything you didn't hear about, you can, tell us or ask us no, or ask your questions, no? And then I'll do a little wrap up after.
I need a job though. Where can I look to get some jobs? No. The job opening you know of?
Check LinkedIn.
Speaking of
Okay.
LinkedIn, has anybody realized the jobs on LinkedIn have seemed not as much as one time?
Yeah, I've noticed. I've noticed a bit of that. I think funnily, and this goes back to the LinkedIn. I've noticed that a lot of companies are just kind of using a bit of word of mouth to actually do talent acquisition nowadays, which brings me to saying this. A particular financial institution is looking for UI UX designer as well as a system analyst. So if you guys fit that field or know of anyone that could fit that role, you can send them my way so I can just make the recommendation.
The young man who needs a job right now, we have a jobs and opportunities channel in the community. Right? So usually we have jobs posted here. I think the last one I saw was from Grid Dynamics, or was it QuickCart? Regardless, if you need a job now, you can check there.
But how do I find the group in the first place? How do I find all these wonderful resources? Where do I look? Yeah.
All right. Where do you look? That is a great question. So you can check our YouTube channel. Right, that's one place with a lot of we have a career day series, and we talk about a bunch of different careers. You can check social media page, and if you want to join the community, you can message us on social media, and the social media manager can give you a link to the group. Once you're in the Telegram group, you're gonna see all the different channels, tech chat, events, and meetups. jobs and opportunities for those looking for that job. There's intros where you introduce yourself, get started in tech, and a bunch of other great stuff that you can use. And of course, you can always you know message in the chat for any general questions that you have. All right. So just to wrap things up, it's been a good discussion. It's clear that the thing that stirred up the most fire, as expected, was links. Right. So, those of you who want to give a little final word, you can go ahead and give your final word now.
All right. Thank you guys for all the insights, as well as it was a wonderful discussion, and of course, I look forward to being a part of these type of discussion in the near future. So, next question is, when is the next talk or discussion?
All right. So we are thinking
Um,
for our hold on. For our the next topic in our debate series should be in September, so you can look out for that, and we'll let you know. We'll let you all know ahead of time. Also, if you're on Meetup, you'll see it announced there. Romar, you can go ahead.
all right, thanks. Final words. I was just gonna say. Sorry, I froze a bit. Yeah. I was just gonna say regarding looking for a job. Don't get discouraged. No matter how many times you apply to various positions or companies, something will land eventually. Just try your best. And as the guys mentioned, don't just do it one way. There are many ways to apply for a job. So try a different way if it's not working, or increase your personal presence, whether online or physically. Also to point out, I don't think the guys mentioned one more networking event that happens. I don't remember the name, but you guys would know that Norris is a part of it, and Ingrid.
Kingston Beta.
Yes, there you go. Kingston Beta, thanks. So if you guys want to go there to network, that's a good place, because that's technically where tech people, like various tech people, go who are in the Caribbean, not just Jamaica, and they have pitches that you can also be a part of. So if you have an idea and you're working on something with a group of people, you can go there, pitch it, get funding, or if you don't want to pitch it, you can just talk to somebody there. Because as I said, there's a lot of people there, and it's constantly growing. They also do stuff like this, so that's another one you guys can look into. They have an emailing list that you can sign up for, I believe. Kingston Beta is the name. Also on LinkedIn and Twitter.
X.
I got a challenge. What you just said. You said tech people go there to meet. Are these real tech people? They're leaving the house.
I would say
Boy,
so.
this why?
They're the
Man.
going ones, I believe.
All right, people like Jason Till was saying go Carnival and Hard One and the places, so I understand. So, and ask again, does anybody have any final closing words? All right, people.
There isn't really anything much else. Be the very epitome of determination. Try, and try again. As I guess this is a saying from China: fall down 7 times, get up 8.
What if I fall after I get up the 8th time?
All right, fall down n times, get up n plus 1 times.
That sounds more
Better?
like it. All right, people, it's been a good debate. Thank you all for coming, and until next time, definitely Pay attention to our social media pages and meet up for future events. Good night.
Right.
Tonight.
All right, later, guys.